water consumption and cooking, just make sure you're boiling the water for those two things. So, thank you. Any questions?
Yes. The valve that was an issue at the main water break. Is there any plans to go back and fix that?
Yes.
Get some new ones?
Yes, we are pursuing that valve, getting on that valve to see if we can make repairs to the existing valve that did not function for us the other night, as well as making sure that we have other options if we're needing to come back in and shut down the system. Not the entire system, but shut down the line.
Yeah, that particular valve, would it just cut off the water from just that location, right?
Yes, that would keep us from having to worry about taking the plant down, yes.
So how many valves are in around the city that may be going down or rusted or?
Oh my, there's thousands of valves in the system. Many of them are old and may or may not be operational, but I would say that the majority of them are functional. This one was functional up until just now. I mean, recently we've used that valve in other cases, but this time it just did not work for us.
You said that yesterday that you guys had to shut down the plant, and it was the first time y'all had to bring it up. You've never done it before. What did you learn from that process?
Well, typically you certainly avoid and hope that you don't ever have to take the plant down. That shuts down all of the water flow into the city. This break was so close to and such a major transmission line off of the plant that we couldn't manage. The plant was not able to keep up with the loss of water. So that was the reason we had to take that down. Now, so in that case, because you rarely, if ever, would take a plant down for any reason other than an emergency, that procedure is not one that's well known, well documented. And so the main thing that we did was we pursued putting the system back online deliberately and slowly with protection so that we tried not to have any other lines break. You have air pockets in the system. When you reload a system, you may have some surges that occur, and so we avoided that as much as possible, and we're very careful in doing so, and we've been very fortunate so far.
You said there was a minor leak?
Yes.
Is that a potential that it may become a major break?
There's always a potential that you could have a major break in the system, just as that pipe failed there, but we're not anticipating that at this time. The water is not enough flow coming off the system that is causing us difficulties in loading the system up and using the plant.
Tom, you said that you'd have the system recharged by the end of the day. Can you define end of day?
Well, certainly before midnight, I would expect, but we're actually hoping to have the system up by this evening, so 7, hopefully by that time, certainly.
Any testing? How long is the testing for water quality going to take?
So the testing will not occur until we have the system up and we can make sure that the water quality is in good shape. Then we will sample, and then you have to wait 24 hours for that sample to come back as to positive or negative in terms of bacteria. So it'll be about 24 hours once that occurs. I would expect that sample probably won't occur until in the morning sometime.
Okay, any other questions for Tom?
Leak set you guys back any further than you were? Or are you guys still kind of on schedule for how it was supposed to go?
No, I think last night took longer than we anticipated, and so that pushed us back. But I think our progress so far has been quite good today. So I think we're within the time frame that we thought we would have been last evening.
How far along will the assistance with the Coliseum giving out water be? I guess what I'm asking is, until when will they be giving out water? Will it be until Friday? Furthermore?
Okay, so yes, I can answer that. My name's Johnny Alvarez. I'm the fire chief. Yes, so right now we're still currently operating that operation right now, and so we're going to continue that till 5 o'clock today. We will start again in the morning at 8 a.m. and we'll continue that till 5 o'clock tomorrow p.m. What we're doing now, we're probably going to have to reroute the direction that we're using right now for the distribution, but it'll be still in the same location here, and we'll be issuing out 2 cases per unit. So that's one of the things that we're looking at. I'll tell you, we've been very fortunate. the Texas Division of Emergency Management has really stepped up and has provided us those state resources. We've had several truckloads that we got throughout the night, last night and this morning. This morning also we had 4 trucks that came in. We have another one that just pulled up. And so we're starting still to unload some of these pallets of water and continuing that distribution of water. And so we have assisted the nursing homes. We have provided some to the hospital, even try to address some of those special needs through the Unity Connection Church. And so there's been a lot of teamwork here that's taken place, and it really come together. Our biggest thing right now is we do have a large amount of volunteers, and I realize that people do want to help, and although that's a good thing, but we have to be able to coordinate that, because we can't have 50 volunteers, just there. So we've got to be able to control that and coordinate that, and so that's kind of what we're doing. We kind of hit the reset button on that, and then certainly tomorrow we'll have a plan moving forward with that. So.
I don't know if there's somebody here that can answer this, but well, how long will surgery still be postponed at the hospitals? I know yesterday, they were rescheduled.
Yeah.
That's still.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I have not spoken to the hospitals. Philip, have you?
Yes, I've had conversations with MCH Hospital, and they have turned their water system back on for their building. That includes their cooling system and also the sanitation system for surgeries that they utilize. But at this time, they are going to have pressure. They are running at about 55 psi at our last conversation, so they are in stages of continuing operations, and their group will provide further updates on what procedures they'll be able to offer and when with their clinic hours.
Philip, do you know what the PSI normally is?
It's in that range. That's their typically 50 psi is their needed range to get into to keep their systems running, and at 55 psi, that's definitely enough for them to continue operations.
One of the things I do want to mention real briefly on the water distribution is that we've had several donations, and again, we're very truly pleased with that. We've had a Glacier that came up, Coca-Cola Distributing came up. We have United Supermarket and some other agencies that have showed up and donated some water, whether it's been 5 to 10 pallets or 1 pallet. But anyways, I just want to recognize those agencies that are helping us with that, because that we'll be able to use all that water and distribute that.
Chief, in the event that once the crisis is over, what will you do with the remaining pallets of water?
Sure. So there's a couple of things that we've been discussing. Our big thing is to make sure that we backfill anything that we've depleted within the community. Whether it's going out to the West Texas Food Bank, whether it's going out to other agencies. That's probably what we're going to be doing on that, and making sure we stock them back up.
Is there a difference between the water that was delivered yesterday that said 10-year? That water's good for 10 years?
It's good for 10 years.
What about, is it different from the water that grocery stores provide?
No, sir. This is just the water that's coming from, it actually coming from San Antonio in the warehouse that they have, the Texas Division of Emergency Management. And so that was the water that came from that location. Of course, Home Depot and Lowe's have showed up as part of a state contract. And that's the water that we're receiving right now.
But I mean, is there a difference between the quality of water that's in the 10-year, that were in the boxes that said could last 10 years?
No, sir, there's no difference. It's drinkable water.
Okay, any other questions? Without that, then the conference is concluded. Thank you.
Thank you.